December 1791. The Bill of Rights, also known as amendments, become part of the Constitution. These amendments help protect the rights of all citizens and limits the federal government's power. We will take a look at the first 10 amendments to help us understand what they do for us and their impact on U.S. citizens. Amendment 1. Freedom of speech and religion was added to our Constitution. This is one of the reasons people came to America, which is why we chose to add it. Now men, women, and children, no matter their race, have this right. Amendment 2 is the right to bear arms. It is our right as American citizens to own and use a firearm. We see that being threatened in our government today. Amendment 3 places restrictions on quartering soldiers in private homes without the owner's consent, forbidding the practice in peacetime. This means, during times of peace or war, the housing of soldiers on private property or homes is prohibited without consent. This amendment is usually associated as a base for the right to privacy. Amendment 4 protects persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. No warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation. This means that people's personal things are secured to them and cannot be searched or taken unless there is a proper warrant with probable cause. This amendment was adopted on March 1, 1792 and is a great protection for our citizens. This amendment helps fight against discrimination today and protects the people from being stopped by police, searched, or have possessions taken without an official warrant or reason. Amendment 5 of the Constitution protects you from being held for committing a crime unless you've been formally accused or charged correctly by the police. The Fifth Amendment also guarantees fair treatment through the judicial system, meaning that the state and the country have to respect your legal rights. You've probably heard the term, "I plead the Fifth." This prevents you from being forced to testify against yourself. Amendment 6 of the Bill of Rights guarantees a citizen a speedy trial. This doesn't mean that the person's trial will be over in 1 week. It means you can't make someone sit in jail for 5 years while they wait for their trial. The jury cannot be biased or prejudiced against the accused, and you are guaranteed an attorney if you want one. Amendment 7 was drafted by James Madison for fear of Second Constitutional Convention called if the right to a civil jury trial wasn't included in the Federal Bill of Rights. The Seventh Amendment has 2 clauses. The first, known as the Preservation Clause, provides, in suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. This clause defines the types of cases juries are required to decide. The second clause, known as the Re-examination Clause, declares, no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. This clause prevents federal judges from overturning jury verdicts. Amendment 8 to the United States Constitution states, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, which means that courts aren't allowed to impose a large and excessive amount of money for bail, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. While this clause is not clear, the framers had in mind the severe punishments of their day, such as prisoners being strangled, branded, or burned, as well as being locked in stocks. The Eighth Amendment works to prevent these types of punishments. Amendment 9. James Madison included the Ninth Amendment as a cautionary measure to provide increasing power of the government. What does that mean today? The Ninth Amendment is used mainly to stop the government from expanding their power, rather than just limiting their power. Sometimes courts try to use the Ninth Amendment as a way to provide and enforce rights that are not actually talked about in the Constitution. Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. The 10th Amendment was supposed to help limit Congress's powers by preventing any unenumerated rights, but instead it resulted in more uncertainty about federal and states' rights. Sometimes local and state governments try to say that they don't have to follow some federal laws because of the 10th Amendment. However, the use of the 10th Amendment isn't very common. These 10 amendments make up the Bill of Rights. Together, they are part of the beginning of what makes our country great.